Once upon a time, there was a raid so challenging on launch day that only a handful of teams were able to complete it on day one. It brought infamy to House Dado, and it set a new standard for raid expectations in the Destiny universe. But with all the power creep that's happened in the game since then, that raid is now more or less a walk in the park, and the loot in it has never been more accessible. Luckily for you and me, there's a pulse rifle in that raid that has a perk combination that pushes the boundaries of what lightweight pulse rifles are capable of. The raid, of course, is the Last Wish, and the pulse rifle I'm referring to is then the Chattering Bone.
The flames have gone cold. 2 down. A powerful statement. They hear the howls and no fear. 2 down.
TV, is this going to be one of those things where you got like 30 kills on an old gun and then you try to sell it to us as some superb weapon for easy content? Yeah, totally. It's totally like that. Jokes aside, if you kept a good Chattering Bone, it might be time to dig it back up. Otherwise, it may be time to organize a few clan raids, get those hidden chests, and breeze through the Last Wish to pursue what I believe is now an all-around superb dueling pulse rifle in Destiny 2's Crucible landscape. Let's start with a simple question. What is it that makes the Chattering Bone stand out against the backdrop of other lightweight pulse rifles? Well, generally speaking, lightweight pulses have some built-in strengths and weaknesses. They're known for having very high handling stat values, and the Chattering Bone is no exception there. It's got 70 base handling, same as the Ogma, but with Arrowhead Break, you can then push that out to 80 handling, which is pretty phenomenal on a pulse rifle, as well as getting that recoil direction very, very vertical, or perfectly so with the addition of a counterbalance stock. But lightweights do have a built-in drawback of having generally poor range. The round-robin hand cannon can outrange almost every lightweight pulse rifle in the game, for example. But the Chattering Bone has the addition of rangefinder in its perk pool, and that's going to instantly add a flat 3.25 meters to your range before you start to experience damage drop-off. Toss in a range masterwork and you've got another 1.4 meters to boot. So Chattering Bone has all the benefits of a lightweight pulse. It's got 3 burst potential, it's got a 0.87 second TTK, which is faster than adaptives, and has rangefinder to help compensate for the innate weaknesses of the family. But while many lightweights focus on kill chaining perks or ability regeneration perks, the Chattering Bone is focused on one thing alone, and that's consistency. Like I said at the beginning of the video, this thing is a scary good dueling gun. Let's talk about how to make that happen. There's a specific combination that you should be looking for between the barrel, the mag, and the 2 main perks on the gun, while the masterwork I think is kinda up to you. We talked about rangefinder, that one is set in stone, but the other main perk you want is Headseeker. There are things that have changed about this perk, I'm sure many of you are aware, but a very quick summation of those changes is that when you do non-precision damage with the pulse, well then for the next 0.55 seconds, a little over half a second, you're going to do extra precision damage, and you'll also get a flat boost to your aim assist as well. So if you hit the body on your first bullet, chances are very, very good that every follow-up bullet will pull to the head and do extra damage, helping you hit that optimal TTK very, very consistently. And with the added precision damage, you also have extra forgiveness built into the gun as well. Usually that optimal TTK requires 1 body shot and 7 crits to obtain it on lightweight pulse rifles. They're not very forgiving. They require a lot of precision from you. But with Headseeker active, you can get up to 2, sometimes even 3 body shots in your 8 bullet barrage and still hit that optimal TTK depending on your enemy's resilience. So the gun with this combination is all about consistency. Until rangefinder gets a nerf or a rework, this means that this perk combination is going to give you more stability built in, more range, more aim assist, more zoom, all in one. Those are all extremely useful things to have on a pulse rifle. But let's push that consistency even further. Let's go with Arrowhead Break for our barrel perk, and toss on a counterbalance stock for a perfectly vertical 100 recoil direction. That's what mine has. And for the mag, let's do ricochet rounds for both stability and range boosts. This perk combination is exactly what I've got. I have Arrowhead, Ricochet Rounds, Rangefinder, and Head Seeker. It's absolutely disgusting. For my masterwork, I have Stability. Some will want range there, but for me, I'm happy with the stability boost to make landing my shots even easier. But you can't go wrong, obviously, with an extra meter and some change of range either. But as other people have noted before, if you re-up that Head Seeker buff right before somebody dies and then you go into your following duel with Head Seeker active, it is actually possible that you can kill your next target in just 7 bullets instead of 8. And that's even with the timer expiring before your final burst. So there is a little bit of kill chaining potential in there. And also you can go into that duel with that aim assist buff as well, making your duel even easier from the beginning. One other important thing to note, a lot of people get hung up on the range of lightweights and see the that upper 30s, maybe 40 meters of range before experiencing drop-off, and they scoff at it, and they point to higher numbers on other families of pulses. But just as a reminder, you can't take everything in this game at face value. It's important to remember that even after a couple of damage drop-off thresholds, the Chattering Bone can still kill in 3 bursts for that optimal TTK. You can drop your damage down to 22 damage per bullet after pushing your engagements out close to 50 meters, and you're still going to do 198 damage in 3 bursts. So take that range value with a grain of salt. The last thing that I'll mention about the gun is that getting the God roll on this thing might not take as long as you think. There are only 8 perks in the perk pool for the Chattering Bone. It's not like a lot of raid weapons out there with 12 to 14 perks on them, making the chances of getting your preferred combo really difficult. The Chattering Bone's limited perk pool means getting the obviously superior combination shouldn't take you as long as most raid weapons, and that's obviously good news. So ultimately, to sum up this video, the Chattering Bone is an exceptional dueling weapon. It gets extra range, extra stability, extra aim assist, extra zoom, and built-in forgiveness to achieve its optimal TTK. And since it's a raid weapon, it isn't sunset and can still be used in any playlist without penalty. So get one, use it, and profit from it. It's a sleeper weapon that got lost in the sauce of Destiny's past, but it's every bit worth your time and effort to get a God roll on one. So good luck out there, Guardians. I hope your farming endeavors are prosperous and lucrative. Thank you very, very much to my couple thousand new subscribers in the last few weeks. I'm thankful that you chose to hit the sub button here. And thanks, of course, to my ride or die supporters. You're my heroes. Be warm and well fed, my friends, and I hope to catch you in the Crucible.